Unemployed is presented by CALVO'S Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Cars Plus, drive home in a brand new 2021 Hyundai Palisade equipped with Guam's only lifetime powertrain limited warranty. Call 477-7807 or visit carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
It's official, Guam workers who are in reduced hours are eligible for PUA and FPUC. The details next. Plus, having problems paying your rent and utilities, the Department of Administration prepares to roll out the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And Global Dorms has reached maximum capacity. What does this mean for Guam's homeless? That answer and a whole lot more right now on Guam's News Leader.
Hafa-day and good evening. I'm Tyler Matanani. The U.S. Department of Labor has issued new guidance confirming that reduced-hour workers are in fact eligible for federal unemployment assistance known as PUA and FPUC, and that qualified claimants will also be paid retroactively. Nestor Lecanto has more.
The announcement was made in a news release early Friday by Congressman Michael San Nicolas. He shared a memo issued by U.S. DOL Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary Suzanne Levine. It details a new provision in the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program guidelines that adds eligibility for, quote, individuals experiencing a reduction of hours or temporary or permanent layoff. The memo goes on to state that it applies retroactively to the beginning of the PUA program. However, those who did not file a claim on or before December 27, 2020 are limited to weeks of unemployment beginning or after December 6. Congressman San Nicolas credits the support of his congressional colleagues and the prioritization of the Biden administration, and he went on to say that the problem was never with the law itself, but with the administrative interpretation. The new interpretation came down during the last days of the Trump administration, and Guam Labor Director David De La Sola had cautioned reduced-hour workers at the time not to file claims until there was new guidance or risk having to pay all the money back. USDOL has now reassured that the claims are eligible and retroactive. Governor Leon Guerrero also welcomed the news from USDOL. In a news release of her own, she said, quote, "We are grateful for their quick and favorable response to my request in ensuring both our unemployed and underemployed receive financial support as we transition into recovery." For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio adds that the events underscore the need for Guam to establish its own unemployment insurance program. The 50-cent increase in the minimum wage won't kick in until September 1st. The governor signed a bill today to delay it for 6 months. It was supposed to start on Monday. Initially, the main sponsor of the measure, Senator Jim Moylan, had sought a one-year delay to help out businesses struggling with the impact of the pandemic. The bill was amended by Senator Amanda Shelton to shorten the delay to 6 months. In her message to the speaker, Governor Leon Guerrero noted that pushing it back will give employers more time to adjust to the pandemic effect. Come September, the minimum wage will go from $8.75 per hour to $9.25. Starting next Wednesday, the Department of Administration will launch the pre-application process for the Emergency Rental Assistance, or ERA program. According to DOA Deputy Director Bernie Gines, the program is for renters impacted by COVID. The ERA grant will provide rent, rental arrears, utilities, and utility arrears assistance for up to 15 months. Gines says, however, applicants must meet all three criteria to qualify.
The household would be that they would have to qualify for unemployment, or have experienced a reduction in their household income based on COVID. Secondly, and keep in mind it's all three that they have to meet, right? Secondly, there's a demonstration of risk of experiencing homelessness or instability in their home. And then lastly, which is really important, is the total household income. Again, it's the total house, it's inclusive of every working individual within that household. We have a chart as to for household members all the way from 1 to 8, and then it gives what the breakdown is as far as what the income should be.
Pre-applications will be accepted starting March 3rd through the 19th. Forms will be available on DOA's website at doa.guam.gov starting next Wednesday. Hard copies of the pre-application forms will be available for pickup at Village Mayor's office or the first floor of the ITC building. As of today, the homeless shelter at Global Dorms is at max capacity. In this next report, we find out what's being done to secure another shelter and programs being worked on to help Guam's less fortunate.
When it comes to the island's issue of homelessness, it's about prevention, intervention, and care.
The most important thing for us is to identify these families and find out what their core problem is that led them to a homeless state, and develop or refer them to the programs that are in existence that they may be eligible for.
The homelessness problem on Guam is still very real, and it's been agitated by the pandemic. As of Friday morning, the island's only homeless shelter, Global Dorms, reached max capacity. Office of Homelessness and Poverty Prevention, or OHAP Executive Director Sarah Thomas Nedadog.
Fortunately, there are not people, outside waiting, but we know there are still people out there that have not found family members, have not been able to reconnect with someone that can take them in. And the one thing we do not want to happen is we do not want them to stay out on the streets.
But time's ticking. With all 39 rooms occupied and approximately 50 adults and 60 children in the dorms, the heat is being turned up to locate and secure a second shelter.
We are looking for another shelter if we can, and maybe there might be a couple of others. There's alternative sites, there's alternative housing types that we're looking at. There's really a variety of ways that we can be supportive.
She says the OHAP is also looking at possibly going smaller and having multi-sites around the island so that students aren't displaced from their schools and families are in neighborhoods they're familiar with. In addition, the OHAP is hoping to establish an outreach center where homeless will have access to wraparound services within the upcoming months.
According to a report released from the Guam Office of Public Accountability, as of December 31st of last year, the government of Guam spent $88.6 million of the $118 million it received in CARES Act money last year. Of the $88 million, at least $15 million was spent in December alone. According to the OPA, a bulk of the expenditures in December went to miscellaneous items of $8.5 million. $3.8 million went to salaries and wages, and $2.6 million went to contractual services. The remaining balance at the end of 2020 was $29.4 million, of which BBMR and DOA confirmed has all been encumbered. The Department of Administration is getting a much-needed grant from the U.S. Department of Labor. According to USDOL, $1.7 million was awarded to DOA to respond to the workforce needs resulting from the pandemic. The grant award will allow participants to continue disaster relief unemployment positions, addressing pandemic cleanup and humanitarian activities, as well as assisting in the delivery of employment and training services to eligible individuals. Governor Lulian Guerrero is expected to sign another executive order that will extend her public health emergency declaration for Guam for another 30 days. The existing one ends on March 1st. Governor's Communications Director, Crystal Paco San Agustin, says the declaration will be extended to April 1st. Another round of EIP-2 checks has been processed, and revenue tax will be placed in the mail. Specifically for the stimulus checks, 478 have been processed, totaling a little over $548,497, The last day for DRT to make all of the EIP-2 payments is March 19th. You can check the status of your check by going to portal on myguamtax.com. As for tax refunds, 681 were processed, totaling over $2.6 million. These are for error-free refunds filed on or before December 31st of 2020. Public Health held their village-based vaccination clinic at the Barrigada Community Center today. Apparently, residents were eager to get vaccinated because all 100 doses of the Pfizer vaccine were administered 3 hours before the projected end time. Barrigada Mayor June Blas says early registration allowed for an easy flow.
Requesting to get the vaccine, unfortunately, there's only so much vials they have. Hopefully, that we do have a second round of vaccines so that we can go ahead and properly administer it again to our community, those that didn't have a chance to get vaccine today.
As for the vaccination clinic at the EOG Calvo Fieldhouse, the National Guard reports that as anticipated, they ran out of the Moderna vaccine by 3 o'clock this afternoon. As we reported, all those who were scheduled to get their dose 2 vaccine on Saturday, specifically for Moderna, are asked to wait until the next shipment arrives, which is March 5th. Short-term deferral of the second dose will not decrease the effectiveness of the COVID vaccine, nor will affected individuals be required to restart the vaccination series. Still to come, we'll tell you about a $42 million standoff weapon complex set to be built at Anderson Air Force Base. That and more, keep it here.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
First time I saw you, you blew my mind. I got this feeling everything was alright. I've never known someone like you, but when I'm with you, everything feels brand new.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years, CALVO'S Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
And the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
How do you dare? You chip away at what's been built because you can do better. How do you dare? You chase away wrongs to make room for what's right. You. How do you dare? You stand while they sit and scream when they are silent. You combine your strengths to reject their weakness. You step up, stand out, and shape a new point of view. How do you dare? This is how you dare. Introducing the all-new Elantra.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. The military has announced a project construction award for a significant new facility on Anderson Air Force Base, a $42 million standoff weapons complex. According to a news release from Naval Facilities Pacific, the new weapons complex will provide an undeniable capability for the 36th Wing and the vested interest of the U.S. Air Force in the Indo-Pacific theater. It goes on to state that, quote, the work to be performed provides for construction of an adequately sized and configured missile maintenance and assembly complex for loading, unloading, transferring, storing, testing, and preparing missiles for operational use. The project was awarded to a California joint venture firm, Granite Obayashi, and is expected to be completed by March 2023. In our next story, we head to the Guam International Airport Authority for the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the International Arrivals Corridor. Peter Santos reports.
3, 2, 1. Viva Guam International Airport Authority!
A project almost 5 years in the making commemorates its halfway mark as Phase 1 of the International Arrivals Corridor at the Guam Airport is now completed. The project, beginning in 2017, has been focused on the West Wing, with the East Wing being the focus of the second phase. During Friday's ribbon-cutting ceremony, GIAA Executive Manager John Kanata says this has been in the planning since the tragic events of 9/11. With the new corridor replacing the temporary dividers used to separate arriving and departing passengers, Kanata says it's all about safety.
It's one of the TSA requirements that we make sure that those passengers arriving and departing are not commingled with each other. So this West Arrivals Corridor is a milestone for the Guam International Airport. Since we've been put on notice by the Transportation Security Administration that we are in violation of departing and arriving passengers commingling. So this takes away that violation.
Arriving passengers can expect to be greeted by sterile hallways away from departing passengers as they proceed to make their way straight to U.S. Customs. Kanata says they'll also be soon greeted by some local artwork and advertisements.
You're going to have artwork that's going to be up there. You're also going to have some advertisement because we have to generate revenue from these passengers that are arriving. So in the plan, it calls for art to be up there and also some advertisements.
According to Kanata, Phase 2 of the project is slated to reach completion sometime this year. For Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
37-year-old Brandon Kanata was sentenced to 5 years in prison as the federal drug offender pled guilty in April 2020 to conspiracy to distribute 50 or more grams of meth. He was indicted in February of last year for his role in picking up 2 mailed-in packages containing meth. In February 2018, the 2 packages referred to as the Sanchez and Hayes packages together had a total of 223 grams of ice. The feds got a hold of both packages and arrested Kanata. He went into cooperation with the government, although according to Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephen Leon Guerrero, agents wished to provide further assistance, but he wanted to discontinue his cooperation. The government asked for a 71-month incarceration period, with Leon Guerrero arguing it was a lucrative drug business the defendant engaged in. Defense attorney Joseph Rosano disagreed, stating that it was not a business and his client was just a kid who was involved in drugs. Rosano asked for a 57-month imprisonment term. Ultimately, the court sided with the defense of 57 months behind bars, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Out of 900 backlogged cases at Child Protective Services, DYA Director Melanie Brennan says as of Tuesday, they've managed to vet 534.
Of the 534, many of them did go into investigation. As I've said, during the pandemic, many of the cases that did come through that were of a crisis nature were acted upon right away. And so what that left was the other remaining cases that required investigation and further action by CPS. So as of Tuesday, 534 cases were acted upon.
Brennan adds, aside from addressing the backlog of cases, they are staying on top of new referrals. She split DYA social workers and CPS social workers in half to work on both issues.
Addressing the backlog, we're addressing the incoming cases so that they're acted upon as mandated by law. So if it comes in as a crisis, we're out there that same day. For those cases where we can go out within 24 hours or 72 hours, we're doing that. So there is no backlog.
And also thanks 6 CPS retirees who have returned to help. Additionally, by the end of today, she's hoping to vet a total of 600 backlogged cases. Last month, the governor declared a state of emergency at CPS and temporarily assigned DYA to take over operations. Jerry Lee, owner of Jerry Kitchen in Tamuning, laid his eyes for the first time today on his severely damaged business. It was the early hours of Thursday morning when the Guam Police Department responded to a car that crashed into his restaurant.
Glass scattered everywhere and a completely totaled storefront.
I got a phone call from my friend. He's got a early morning, 12 o'clock. Yeah, they say somebody driver the car, hit the window, into my restaurant.
Jerry Lee was at Guam Regional Medical City for an unrelated surgery when he heard a Jeep slam through the entrance of his restaurant, Jerry Kitchen. Lee has owned and operated the Tamuning business for 4 years, and today he had a shocking first look at the devastation.
I have no idea yet. I just come. I mean, it's the first time coming here, but not feeling. I have no feeling.
No feeling?
How is asking my feeling? Already like this. Yeah, you can see. My God, I don't know what happened there.
You may have seen the images circulating social media of a shattered entrance in the completely destroyed Asian fusion restaurant. The Guam Police Department is currently investigating the auto runoff crash that has left the Jerry Kitchen inoperable. According to GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau, it was not a DWI-related incident and no injuries were reported. Lee says he has received a case number from GPD, but has not heard any additional information into the cause of the accident.
I only know that the driver is the military. You can see the road, they're driving the car firmer water. Oh, I don't know how fast they're driving. And then I don't know what's wrong then. Drinking or something.
Lee says he has since been informed that there were 4 individuals in the red Jeep, and the driver is a military service member. Other neighboring businesses did not report any damages. Facilities manager Inger Ogo tells KUAM that they are currently in the process of reviewing surveillance footage. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Thanks, Adriana, for that story. An inspection by the Department of Public Health on Thursday resulted in the closure of American Bakery in Harmon. During the nearly 2.5-hour inspection, cockroaches and rat feces were found. Wastewater from an ice machine was observed being disposed outside and not properly connected to an approved wastewater disposal system. Walls and floors were observed with dark stains and an accumulation of grease. Food particles were also found throughout the establishment. DPHSS determined there was an active cockroach infestation constituting an imminent health hazard. American Bakery's sanitation permit was suspended. It was also issued a notice of closure and ordered that it be placed on the entrance door. Today's inspection was a regular inspection in response to a complaint filed previously related to a cockroach found inside a bread product by the bakery, produced by the bakery, excuse me. According to Public Health, although the bakery was closed, the retail store remains open. The Dededo Public Pool Facility will remain closed for at least the next 3 months. During an informational hearing today before Senator Amanda Shelton's Parks Committee, Parks and Recreation Department, Recreation Administrator Willie Stinnett said the pool is still undergoing repairs.
That pumps water into the main pool, that one's down. So we have to order a new pump to get that functioning. There's 3 filters that need to be changed. Not changed, but just cleaned out with new sand. So I mean, we're talking if we start today, best case scenario is 12 weeks.
There are plans to build an Olympic-sized pool next to the Dededo Sports Complex. DPR expects construction to be completed by the end of next year. GovGuam's other public pool facility in Agana has been shut down because of health and safety issues, and Stinnett says there are plans to convert it to a volleyball court. The Spanish training Navy ship, the Juan Sebastian de Elcano, pulls into port. That story and more when we return.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your 4th meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
We get it. Living to the fullest is tough during COVID-19. You don't need to do it alone, and everyone needs a hand right now. We are here. Feeling overwhelmed? Call 647-8833 and let's talk. Mangaihem is a project of Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center.
Welcome back. Early Friday morning, Guam residents lined the northwest coast to welcome the Spanish training Navy ship, the Juan Sebastian de Elcano. Elcano's visit commemorates the 500th anniversary of the first recorded circumnavigation of the world led by Ferdinand Magellan. The ship then pulled into Apra Harbor at Naval Base Guam and was greeted by Joint Region Marianas Commander Rear Admiral John Manoni, as well as the governor and lieutenant governor. The Elcano is the third largest tall ship in the world and was built in 1927. It is passing through Guam and will be heading to the Philippines next. With regional headlines, here's KSPN 2 News.
Hafa Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI.
The Cagman Community Health Center has been selected to participate in a program called Ensuring Equity in COVID-19 Vaccine Distribution. Executive Director of KCHC, Vincent Costru, states this is a CDC initiative who works with their main grantor, Health Resources and Services Administration.
At minimum, they selected at least one community health center per jurisdiction or state. And of course, we're the only one in the CNMI, right? So.
The aim of the program isn't to just distribute the vaccine, but specifically provide more hands in assisting the elderly, those who cannot speak English, and low-income households. But before anything happens, KCHC must take a readiness assessment which will focus at the available resources and manpower. KCHC still has the option of whether they will participate in the program or not, but they are willing to partner up.
There's always this so many things that has to be put in place in order to do this. I mean, if you go through the CAC line, right, you not only the vaccination, but you also have to have emergency services nearby and things like that. So a lot of things that we have to consider before we do. We were mostly thinking, I don't know, we could partner maybe in Tinian, something like that. I think they're going every so many weeks, but maybe Tinian would be a target for us, because I think Saipan, we're doing a pretty good job.
The Cagman Community Health Center has 27 employees, with 2 facilities in Saipan and 1 in Tinian. Castro states discussions with CACC and the local government has already begun, and if participation and capability have been approved, they will be able to receive and administer the COVID-19 vaccines. Reporting for KSPN News, I'm Sally Lemis.
For more news, visit saipantv.com. For KSPN 2 News, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Our friends at Triple J have been busy expanding their operations in the Marianas, giving patrons tasty options and comfortable amenities with the style of the Old West, all with island hospitality. The company officially cut ribbon on the Tinian Western Lodge and Hertz Rent-A-Car office for travelers, along with the Bark K Diner and Drive-In, serving breakfast, burger, and other sandwich meals. The Tinian Western Lodge has 9 newly renovated rooms, each equipped with new furnishings, air conditioning, bedding, and other amenities. And for those who prefer a quick meal on the go, the Drive-In is also open daily from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. with hot sandwiches and cold drinks. Congrats to the team at Triple J for taking care of our family in the CNMI. Local patients needing medical treatment away from home just got a big boost thanks to GTA. The company made a generous in-kind donation of 125,000 miles to Azuda Foundation's Wings for Life program. In all, GTA has committed to 4 quarterly donations for 500,000 miles to help those Guamanians in need. Wings for Life assists medically indigent patients by providing round-trip air transportation via airline tickets purchased with donated frequent flyer miles, and the corporate goodwill aids at least 6 patients, easing the financial burden for their families. Your birthday shout-outs are next. Don't go anywhere.
Guam is truly a majestic place with its sheer natural beauty, wealth of beaches, and culturally rich landscape. Unfortunately, Guam has a real problem with unwanted invasive species. Help us in preventing their introduction and spread. The coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, the African snail, Siam weed. These are just a few of the numerous invasives on Guam. Follow proper custom procedures when bringing plants and animals into Guam.
Help protect Guam. Tell your family and friends about invasive species.
To report invasive species, call 475-PEST.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy Friday birthday on this February 26th to Ricardo Calvo. Happy birthday, Papa. We love you, says your family. Also, happy birthday to Dez, known to you and me as Desiree Tapasnia. May God continue to bless you with many more years to come. And your friends and family say, Dez, enjoy your day. Kayani Joy Cabrera Hernandez, happy birthday number 2 to our wonderful granddaughter. You are my greatest blessing. Enjoy your day. I love you, princess. With love from Glama Loriana and Papa Joel. Skylar Terlahi, happy birthday to you. Wishing you only the best today and always. Your friends and family says they love you. Also, happy birthday to Martha Crisostomo. Your husband, sons, and family say, happy birthday, Mom. And happy birthday number 10, the big 1-0, to Amory Journey Cade Mendiola. We love you, say Nina, Nino, and your family.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. And finally, here's this week's winner of a Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake.
A Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake is going out to this week's winner, Victoria Pangilinan. Victoria was born on February the 20th, and Victoria, we hope you have a wonderful, extended, safe, healthy, fun, and yummy birthday. Courtesy of KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery, have a great island weekend.
That's